What's up, everybody? I'm B-True, and today we're going to take a look at a new ninja that I just got, and that is Edo Deidara. So, finally, after many weeks of trying to piece him together through the events, don't worry, I did not spend real money on Edo Deidara this time, okay? I learned my lesson. No real money spending for a while. We already got A and Shisui. We got to chill out a little bit, so... No real money spending on Edo Deidara. I've been piecing him together pretty much in every event that he's been in over the past few months, and I finally was able to finish him off with the lucky board this week. So, you can see we got Edo Deidara right here. Now, I only have him at yellow +2 because I'm out of awakening materials, so... Let's take a look at, first off, his growth rate. So remember, we're only at yellow +2, so they do actually increase once you get into like the reds, and every awakening level they increase a little bit. But what I'm going to do here is I'll show you what they are here, and how we can get an idea of how they kind of grow. So, two things obviously stand out here. His life and his ninjutsu. His life growth is very good for only being at yellow +2. He's at 1,700. So for reference... Shark Kisame at red +5 is 2,600, which is a huge amount. Gakido down here is at 1,800. He's at 1,700. So for a damage dealer, he actually has a lot of health. However, as you can see, his resistance and his defense are pretty low. Both of those values are going to be pretty much at about 1,000 once you get into the red awakenings. So he's not very tanky, but he does have a large amount of health, which does help him survive a little bit. His attack is pretty much non-existent, but his ninjutsu growth is very high, almost as high as his life growth. 1,500 at yellow +2 is gigantic. Again, looking at Shark Kisame, his best attack value is 1,700 for his attack, and Edo Deidara is only about 100 underneath of that, and he is six awakening levels lower. So that is a huge value to have at yellow +2. He does incredible amounts of ninjutsu damage. Alright, so let's take a look at his skills here. First off, his mystery. Everybody knows his mystery is one of, if not the hardest hitting mystery in the game. Him and then maybe like Susanoo Sasuke, those two are pretty close together. But one of the hardest hitting mysteries in the game causes fire attribute damage to up to 12 units of the opponent's field. So that means in Great Ninja War ranked battle, it hits 3 battlefields worth of people. It hits up to 12 people. So if they have no clones, it will hit every single unit on the like every single ninja on the enemy team. So you got 3 battlefields, that's 12. Huge mystery. Generally, you get happy with something that hits 9. This hits 12, so it's going to hit pretty much everybody. And like I said, it hits super hard. And then a selected target will suffer from knockdown. So that is pretty much the bread and the butter of Edo Deidara. It's all about that mystery right there. Then his standard attack, C1 Giant Bird, causes damage to up to 4 units of the opponent's lineup. So basically it just hits. It doesn't start a combo, it just hits, and it does some damage. His chase here, chases and attacks a low floated unit and causes repulse, can be triggered twice each round. Then his C1 Clay Spider passive summons 2 explosive clay spiders before in action, can be triggered up to twice each round. Explosive clay spiders will explode when this unit uses a standard attack. Oh, okay, so basically if the clay spiders survive until the end of the round, just like any clone, they will do an attack after all the ninja have done their attacks. Its standard attack is it attacks 2 of the opponent's units, will be damaged, and they will suffer from ignition. So it causes ignition and does a decent amount of explosive damage if they survive. So you can have up to 4 per turn doing ignition and damage there. And then this is really what makes his kit so damaging and so valuable. This detonating Meister causes ignition when this unit lands a critical hit. Furthermore, this unit's critical rate will be increased by 6% every time a unit in the field is defeated, can be increased to a maximum of 80%. So he gets an 80% increase to his critical hit percentage, okay? Every time something dies, that counts for ninja, that counts for your spiders, it counts for any clones on the enemy team, anything. Anytime anything dies, his critical hit rate is going to increase by 6% to a maximum of 80%. Basically, it gets to the point where everything he does is a critical hit, which obviously severely shoots his damage through the roof. But then also, he's causing AoE ignition all the time. So his mystery is going to cause ignition up to 12 people. His standard attacks cause him ignition up to 4 people. So it not only increases his damage, but it also gives you a lot of ignition that you're spreading AoE across multiple battlefields. And that is what makes Edo Deidara one of the best damage only ninjas in the game. He has no support, no crowd control, nothing. He is exclusively damage. But when it comes to damage, this guy will always be at the top of the charts. So let's take a look at a couple lineups that I have come up with him. So here we go. The reason that we use the Earth main almost exclusively with Edo Deidara is because the Earth main is able to give Edo Deidara 2 standard attacks. The more times Edo Deidara attacks, one, the more clones, spiders that he's creating, which give you extra damage and ignition. But then 2, it allows him to just do that much more damage because he's doing critical hits over and over. You're applying all this ignition constantly. So you use the Earth main for 2 reasons. One, you use him for the double standard attack mystery, but then you also use him to create shields because you basically want to keep Edo Deidara alive as long as possible. If you can keep Edo Deidara alive long enough, he'll win you pretty much every fight over time. So we use the Earth main. Now I have Shark Kisame up here as my tank. Shark Kisame is one of the best tanks, and he actually synergizes really well with Edo Deidara for a couple reasons. One, because Shark Kisame, when he uses his mystery that has the water dance prison barrier, he summons those sharks. Those sharks, when they die, that increases Edo Deidara's critical hit rate as well. So that helps him out. Also, Shark Kisame generates chakra whenever a unit is defeated. So that not only applies to his shark, but it also applies to Edo Deidara's what are they called? Spiders. There we go, spiders. So with Shark Kisame in your lineup, even if you don't use Shark Kisame's mystery, okay, with Edo Deidara's spiders dying, you're going to get 40 chakra from those 2 spiders dying back with Shark Kisame. So if you do use Shark Kisame's barrier, what ends up happening is you have those sharks and you have the spiders. You'll get at least 40 chakra back. If one of those sharks dies, you have 60 chakra, and you're able to use Edo Deidara's mystery in the second round then, instead of having to wait till the third round. So with Edo Deidara, you want to have some way of generating additional chakra so you can get off his mystery as many times as possible. His mystery only has a 2-round cooldown, so getting it off in the second round is really important because then you can get it off every 2 rounds after that instead of having to wait up until the third round. So Shark Kisame, and he has super armor, which means that he pretty much he's really good at protecting Deidara from any standard attacks. It's hard to kill Kisame. Another reason that he synergizes so well is because Kisame recovers life every time a unit is defeated, which again counts for the spiders as well. So with this lineup, you've got so many things dying around you, so many spiders, so many sharks, so many things are dying that Kisame is really hard to kill because he's constantly healing 10% of his life back, and you're generating a bunch of chakra. Edo Deidara, obviously for Edo Deidara, and then I have Gakido back here. There are 2 different things you can do here. You can go with Gakido, or you can go with Jigakudo. Both of these guys can be used very effectively in this lineup. If you don't have Shark Kisame, I would say you almost have to use Jigakudo, because Jigakudo also recovers chakra. He only gets 10 chakra when something dies, but he also recovers chakra. Basically, you're using that in order to get off these mysteries as much as possible. With Jigakudo in your lineup, when both of Edo Deidara's spiders die, the Earth main can use his super light and boulder jutsu in the first round, which is pretty helpful getting that off in the first round there. So that's why you would have Jigakudo if you don't have Shark Kisame, okay? So you do need one of those 2 to generate chakra for you. Without Shark Kisame, if you have Jigakudo in, again, you can use Jigakudo with Shark Kisame. That's perfectly okay as well. And then you're going to have 2 people that recover a bunch of life. You got 2 kind of tanky people right there that are constantly recovering their life back and forth. There's the super cancerous team of Edo Deidara, Jigakudo, Sailor Sakura, and the Earth main, which is just healing galore. I don't have Sailor Sakura, so I couldn't use that even if I wanted to, but it's really cancerous team. But it's really strong, and that's why people use it. And we've had a lot of talk about cancer in the past couple days, so I'm not going to badmouth the team because a lot of people, say whatever about it. But I'll say it's really strong, and it wins a lot of fights for you. Okay, I can't fault people for using teams that win. All right, that's just how it works. So with Jigokudo, you would use him within this lineup. You'd use him for the healing because he heals 2 units with the least life points and also cancels 2 debuffs on them with the Earthmane's super lightened boulder jutsu. You get that heal off twice, which is pretty helpful for your team. With Gakido, what you get is you cancel 1 layer of debuffs from your entire team, and you can trigger that twice per round. You can actually use that very often because you can use it when there's super light and boulder jutsu. You can also use it whenever he uses his mystery. So you're canceling those debuffs a lot, which helps out with Shark Kisame because the only way to really kill off Shark Kisame is to keep him ignited. If you keep him ignited, he doesn't ever recover his health, and that's how you pretty much kill him. And another thing that Gakido really helps with is Gakido generates shields, like a really large shield, and makes units immune to debuffs. So he's really helpful for if Edo Deidara gets controlled. What you can do is you use either if Gakido's mystery isn't up, then you just wait until he does his absorption of debuffs. Otherwise, you can use his mystery to remove the immobile or whatever from Deidara, and then he can't be controlled anymore. So it's kind of up to you what you want. I haven't 100% decided between Jigokudo and Gakido yet. I just started off with Gakido, so this is the team that I was using. As far as treasured tools go, these are wrong. These are all wrong. Okay, so for the treasured tools, you want to give help out Edo Deidara as much as possible with your with his damage. Oh, speaking of that, mood on Edo Deidara is plus ninjutsu minus attack. Okay, again, you want to have him as much damage as possible. So this fan gives ninjutsu, which is why I'm going to use it on him there. So it gives it more ninjutsu and then extra ninjutsu from the attributes as well. So it's all about, and it gives critical hit, which is obviously very important for him. As much damage as possible. Now, for Shark Kisame, I use the Gourd for the extra life and the defense. With him being up in the front right there, I want to give him as much defense as possible. And then for Gakido and the Earthmane, we use, or you should use, the ropes. So the reason you use the ropes is because 1, they give extra life, but then 2, they give resistance. Both of these 2 ninja, their shields scale off of resistance. So increasing their resistance is really helpful for both of them. Talents for this team is going to be the Super Light and Boulder Jutsu for the extra standard attack. We've got the shield generating standard attack here. We've got Earth Style Sphere of Graves. You can either go with Pose of Duel or Earth Style Enhancement. Actually, I think... honestly, I think Earth Style Enhancement is going to be better for the setup that I have. So, if you go with Earth Style Boulder Jutsu, then go with Pose of Duel. Okay? Especially if you're using Jigokudo. So, that way you start off with the shield, and then you have the increased damage from the shield. But if you're going to use Defense Knowledge, which I'm using to increase resistance and defense to help out Shark Kisame stay alive, and obviously Edo Deidara, go with Earth Style Enhancement, because that's going to enhance all 3 of these ninja back here. Okay? So, those 2, and then Gamakin, if you don't have Gamakin, use the purple summon, which is Gamachu. Okay? Now let's take a look at this team in a fight here. So one of the things that you can do, you don't always necessarily want to use Shark Kisame's mystery in the first round here. So, especially like with this team, since they don't have a barrier, I'm not going to use Shark Kisame's mystery. What I am going to do is I'm going to use Gakido on him to remove that. And I'm going to use this defense increase in the 4th round to give me that extra defense. So now, what I'm able to do when Edo Deidara summons his spiders, when one of them dies, I can get off the Earthmane's mystery in the 1st round, which is why you don't want to use Shark Kisame's mystery if you don't have to. So let's see if they're even going to... Can we maybe get this off in time? Okay, they quit actually. So, okay, so let's try this one more time. So basically, that's what I decide. If they have a barrier, I use Shark Kisame to remove the barrier. If they don't have a barrier, okay, so they do have a barrier here, especially with them having A, I'm gonna want to use Shark Kisame to get rid of and stop him from using his what's it called? His mystery in the 1st round here to blow somebody up. Okay, so otherwise, like I said, you're gonna want to use the Earth style boulder or lightened boulder jutsu, super lightened boulder jutsu. Yeah, there we go. See how we're getting that chakra back right there, and then we're also gonna Kisami's gonna be healing himself too. And then once they blow up, then you end up getting that chakra back too. So I don't have enough chakra to use Edo Deidara in the first round here. Okay, so I am going to... Actually, I do have enough now. But not anymore. But I will. We'll see. Oh man, he's almost dead already. Okay, so I'm actually going to use the Earth main here because I need to generate as many shields for Edo Deidara as possible. Hopefully, we can keep him alive. We'll see. I'm not 100% sure. The good news is he is immune, so A isn't able to... Oh, look, I got enough back anyway. So with him being immune from Gakido, it completely negated the 4th Raikage there. Now, I don't know if he's going to be able to kill him here. No, not enough. Perfect. Okay. So they get that double standard attack. They're immune, so they're still okay. But that helped us out a lot. Basically, Gakido is the only reason that Deidara survived that round because nice, and then he quit. So that's why I like Gakido right there. The fact that I'm able to keep Edo Deidara immune... We'll do one more fight. The fact that I'm able to keep Edo Deidara immune for an entire round is super, super effective, and it ended up actually being the reason that Edo Deidara survived there, because what would have happened is the 4th Raikage would have tagged him and then done his super attack, and he would have ended up dying. So I'm going to do with the defense again. I feel like the defense is like one of your best options here because you want to just have lots of tankiness and keep everybody alive as long as you can. So it's either, for this lineup, you're either going to go with the defense or the healing. Okay, well they quit too. All right, so there we go. I got a team that ends up making people quit. But hey, we beat the 4th Raikage team, which is pretty cool. I feel like this is a very strong lineup because it has a lot of balance to it. And Edo Deidara is really the only damage that you need. I mean, so Shark Kisame does a fair amount of damage by himself with his taijutsu attacks. Not enough to carry a team, but enough to be, somewhat dangerous. But Edo Deidara, between his spiders, his mystery, and his standard attack, the ignition, is pretty much all the damage you're going to need. So everything else is kind of designed around keeping Edo Deidara alive. Putting a super, super strong tank in front of him so that he doesn't take any basic attacks. Having Gakido to keep him immune from debuffs, and having Gakido to remove debuffs every round, and then the Earth Main to generate shields for him and then give him extra standard attacks. There you go. That's pretty much it. A couple other things you can do with this lineup. You can replace Gakido with Grudge Mode Kakuzu. You have the full Akatsuki team if you want to. People have done that. It's a very strong team as well. These two synergize just so well together. And the reason that Kakuzu ends up helping out so much is because Kakuzu also, he has the removal of debuffs as well, but only for Akatsuki Ninja, so it only works for those guys. But anyway, there we go. That is my Edo Deidara Ninja Spotlight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I finally got him, like I said, got him for free. Don't worry, I'm not going to lose my apartment just yet. Maybe next month, but not this month, so hooray for that. So thank you everybody for watching the video. Thank you for watching the entire way through the video. Like I've mentioned a bunch of times, the whole YouTube watch time, can't thank you guys enough for watching the whole way through, because YouTube really helps me out when you guys do that. If you want to help out even more, refresh that video one time and go watch it again. Alright guys, hope you guys all have a great day. I'll see you on the next video, and